Hello, welcome back to Dry Waffle.
This is episode 9.
What is episode 9 about, Betty?
Today we're going to talk about the pros and cons of our sober journey so far.
We'll be discussing our 9-month sobriety.
Yep. And we'll be talking about sobriety and how it's affected our relationship, both the good and the bad.
We'll be discussing all the things we've found difficult and all the things that we've found really nice and rewarding about going sober. There's a fly on my face. There's a fly in my mouth. But anyway, without further ado, this is episode 9. Hope you enjoy it. If you do like it, give us a like. Give us a follow, all the good stuff.
Instagram and TikTok, baby.
We're on Instagram and TikTok if you want to follow those accounts.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
Bye.
Dry waffle. That dry waffle always makes me laugh.
Why?
Because it sounds so stupid.
But it's your baby. It's your brainchild.
It is.
What you birthed.
It is. It's just a
Wow.
funny old. It's just a funny old way of saying dry waffle, isn't it?
Wow.
Episode 9.
Yay.
Not only is it episode 9
It's our 9-month
today,
sober birthday today.
it's 9 months sober today.
I feel like that's a good sign.
Did you think you'd get here?
Into this chair today? No.
It's been
We've had a week, haven't we?
It's been a stressful day today, hasn't it?
Yeah. I think like, you know, therapy ourselves.
You have done my head in.
Yeah, you've done mine. You've done my head in this week.
I think
as couples, let's be real, you spend a lot of time together.
we spend a lot of time together,
We
which
do.
is good because we obviously now
Adore each other.
I mean, we used to spend a lot of time together anyway.
Yeah.
Because we even when we used to go out drinking and stuff like that. But I feel like now we I don't know. I suppose I feel like we've got more time. So obviously we're together. It just feels like more time.
Yeah. And when
It sounds like we're having issues here.
no, it sounds like we're normal.
Today has been especially
we've
stressful.
wanted to kind of wring each other's necks, I think, today.
Yeah. Oh, and because of this bloody podcast,
Episode,
what it is,
we're really trying.
we're trying.
We're trying really hard.
I think we're both very much similar people.
Yeah.
When it comes to getting ideas across, and then I find it so hard if I say something and then you disagree and come with a new idea to then take on your idea.
Yeah.
And I feel like you're exactly the same with me.
I find it hard if my ideas don't get listened to.
Yeah,
because
that's the same thing as what I said though.
Because but I think mine comes from. Mine definitely stems somewhere deep in from my childhood of like.
Same. I mean,
Yeah.
same. I think what it is as well. We're both very strong. We've got very strong opinions on what we like to do creatively.
Yeah.
And then we're also not very good at taking on other people's point of view. We like to just no, my way.
No, my idea is the best idea in the world.
But I think we're actively trying to get around that.
Yeah.
Because we were aware of it.
We're very aware.
But it's just
of it.
very hard.
Yeah.
And it's
because we're trying to change very learned, ingrained traits that we've both got.
Which is, it's like when you...
And it's weird when you're in a relationship, like at work. I'm not like that.
Yeah.
I might be in some things, but like when it's us, I think it's because we're so open with each other, and we know. But
we're just comfy. You
Yeah.
can't do that at work.
No.
You can't be like throwing potatoes around the kitchen at work, can you?
Yes,
I
that
can't
just
be. I can't
happened.
be whizzing pens across the room
an FYI,
at
we
work.
did not do that at each other. I threw the potato aggressively in the bin, and Bobby threw a pen.
That was a big potato.
It was.
That was one of the biggest potatoes.
We'll take a
that
photo
could
of
have
the
hurt,
potato.
But
Yeah, but I
but
didn't
anyway,
throw it at you.
we digress.
Yeah.
This has thrown the shuttle notes out the window, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Right, we'll do a 2-minute intro
Yeah.
about the topic of today. No, what we're gonna do is we're gonna have a therapy session.
Yeah, we're gonna have, which I think's good to do.
About
But I do love you very much, Bobby.
I love you too, Betty.
And I'm glad we're here.
Yes. So
9 months today.
9 months today, and today we're discussing the pros and the cons of our experience with alcohol. Everybody's different, but we've just had a bit of a recce today about what we think of a few that stand out for us.
Yeah.
So what have we been up to this week apart from wanting to rip each other's heads off?
I mean, that's taken up quite a lot of my week. But well, I went to London again.
You did?
Last weekend, which I felt was like a much calmer experience than the last time I went, because I felt more triggered last time, whereas this time I didn't. I felt much more...
Why do you think that is?
I think I needed to do it the first time.
Do you think it's because you've done it now? You realise that it wasn't as bad as you thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
And it gives you that bit of a strength to go do it again.
Yeah. Definitely. And I think I was there because it was like one of my best friends, Bam's birthday. Shout out to Bam. She's wanted me to do that for ages.
Shout out to Bam.
And we went to the zoo. I said, "What do you want to do for your birthday?" And she said she wants gorillas, sharks, and steak.
Sober trip to the zoo.
Sober trip to the zoo.
That's a new one. Instead of drinking and acting like animals, you went to see the animals.
There you go. So we saw the gorillas. We didn't see a real shark, but we saw a shark on the wall, and we then went to Hawksmoor and had a delicious steak, which was amazing. So we did that, and then the next day I went to a baby shower. Not just any baby shower, a baby shower at Little Nan's in Deptford. If you know London and Deptford, you'll know what I'm talking about. And we did a karaoke baby shower, and I fought one of my biggest fears and sang karaoke sober.
Well done, because you always said that was something you never wanted to lose.
No.
Well, you said that was your fear, that you wouldn't be able to do things you enjoyed while you were drinking, which the big one was karaoke. Yeah. So that's good. We can discuss.
It was weird. It was. Thanks. Should we discuss that?
Yeah. Moving on from you. No, but we are going to discuss that further, aren't we?
Can I discuss that further now?
If you like, yeah. Oh. Sorry about that. I didn't get the memo.
Yeah, so it was a weird feeling. You know what? I got lots of like adrenaline and I think dopamine in that moment, because I was so like, I built myself up so much for it. And then Bex, whose baby shower it was, we did Proud Mary, and Proud Mary is one of my like ultimate songs. Which is really fun. So I kind of warmed up to that one, and then me and Bam did Don't Stop Believing, which was the first time we'd ever sang karaoke together anyway, so it was quite special. But it's not a song that I would ever normally sing on karaoke. It was terrible, but I really enjoyed it and really had fun. And like, actually, when you've got a room full of people that were mixed, like some sober, some not, it was just a really good energy, and actually makes you realise, people are just there to have fun and have a good time and like celebrate Bex, and it was really nice. So it was a nice way to step back into the karaoke space that I've definitely been apprehensive about, but I love singing and I love karaoke, so I'm really glad that I'm able to do that. Thank you.
No, don't. Yeah. I've just realised I forgot to clap.
So that was your clap?
No. So the reason I clap.
Oh, just for context.
Just for context.
That sounds a bit like I've just realised that I forgot the clap.
The reason that I do a clap at the beginning of every video is because the spike from the clap when you go like this, it sends a spike on the audio, and it also does a spike on the video, and then I can match it up so it's in sync.
There you go, kids.
So
Always learning.
If anyone's got a better way of doing it,
let us know.
Let me know.
But that's what they do in the films, don't they? That's why they have the shutboard. That's what I learned off you last week.
Oh, well, I sort of just thought that was the case, so don't take it as random.
Big. I think we're all right, babe.
I think we all know by now I don't fact check. But I have heard that somewhere. I think it might be when I was at uni, and I'm pretty sure that the reason they do that is for the same reason, but I could be wrong. So don't pull me up on that one if it's wrong.
How about you? What have you been up to?
So I had a bit of a quiet week. I didn't go to London, but I did go to a sort of event, like it was for work. It was out of work hours, so at night in Manchester. But it was an event for my type, like in the job that I'm in, just like a meet up of people in the industry, and I did that sober, obviously, and still find it difficult.
Was it better than the last time? Because you have done that one before, haven't you, sober?
No,
no, nope.
No, it's something that I really struggle with. I really struggle with just going into a place. And some days it's better than others. Like sometimes I'll walk in and I'll just have a bit of a spring in my step, and I'll know what to say. And some days I just can't be asked.
Yeah. Some
days I'm just like, I'm here because I want to do a bit of learning. I can't be asked talking. I can't be asked asking you, what do you do? I'm unsociable sometimes like that. I find it very, very strenuous to like go through that. It's almost painful. But it was lucky because obviously I know a couple of people that were there, so sometimes they're talking to other people, but I managed to get a good couple of minutes chatting, and sat with them at the table, and we had pizza and listened to some of the speakers and stuff. So it was all right. But I know for a fact if I went to somewhere on my own and I didn't know them out, there's something I'd really struggle with, but I wouldn't have done if I was still drinking. I would have been happy to turn up, happy to have a couple of drinks, and then start chatting the ear off anyone that was stupid enough to come into my vicinity.
Do you feel like it will get easy the more you do it, or do you think it just depends on your mood in that day?
Depends on my mood. I think I'm a very, 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 very introverted person when it comes to new people. Yeah. When it comes to new people, and that would be when we're talking about the pros and cons. That's definitely in there. I've probably a pro for me would be the other side of that. The other side of that, there was the I didn't used to get nervous when I was drinking, and I didn't used to care. But yeah, so that's what I've been up to. I also went to the lakes to see my dad. I went on my own, and I went to watch the football with him. Blackburn Rovers.
Because it was your daddy's birthday.
It was my dad's birthday. It was also, more importantly, Blackburn Rovers.
More importantly.
Blackburn Rovers were playing the last game of the season. It was the last chance to get into the playoffs. We didn't do it. But we had a great end to the season. Can't complain. Wish it would have been different. Just one more game, we would have won it. Not that anybody's interested in the Blackburn Rovers, but
you never know.
And I suppose I mentioned that because going to my dad's, watching the football would have been usually an excellent opportunity for me to have a weekend session in the lakes. Get drunk, smoke some cigarettes. Do all the stuff that I'm not doing now. And I didn't, obviously, but yeah,
you took yourself away from it, didn't you?
I did. So I had like all my aunties and uncles were up, and they were all coming back. They'd gone to visit another part of the lake, so they were on their way back. And I know that would have been, I think we'd have all gone to the pub to meet up. And I just didn't feel right for it. I didn't feel good about going and sitting at the pub. It just wasn't in the frame of mind to do it. I knew I wouldn't have enjoyed being in that environment. And it might have looked like I was being, a bit what's the word, unsociable,
Evasive. Evasive, yeah.
But I made the decision to drive home.
Yeah.
I took myself out of it. I'd seen my dad for a few hours. We had a good laugh. We had a good catch up. And I think it's just important to look after yourself first in those situations. You know, if you feel like it might have been a bit of a trigger for you, you don't have to appease anybody. You've got to do what's best for yourself, especially when it comes to sobriety.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just any old thing. Do you know what I mean?
You've definitely got to protect yourself.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And I just didn't feel up to it that day. I felt like it would have been quite uncomfortable and triggering, so I made the decision not to. And I drove home. So yeah, that was my week in a nutshell, to be honest.
Nice.
Yeah. So let's get into the meat.
All right.
The meat and gravy of the subject.
So we're going to talk about the pros and the cons of sobriety for us so far.
Yeah, I think there's lots of pros, lots of cons. Different people have different ones.
Hey.
That was a rhyme.
Very nice.
I forgot what I was saying now.
Let's talk about the topic of today.
Yes. Try waffle.
So, should we start with cons?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've worked a couple down, haven't we? Or we've decided on a few that we think.
Yeah, because I think it's fair to say that there are definitely cons. So let's not be
naive
or oh my god, it's
delusional.
I do feel like it is easy, like when you're in this journey, like there's a lot of pros, and there definitely are, but let's also remember there are things that you do have to give up and there are things that you have to tackle, so it's good to be honest with yourself and ourselves with the cons.
Definitely. It's like
it's hard.
It's hard.
Bloody hard.
It's bloody hard. It's not easy and it's not nice, and you're giving up something.
Yeah.
Something that used to have lots of good bits to it.
Yeah.
The problem is you have to give it up because those good bits for you as an individual, or for me, brought a lot of bad bits that I didn't want in my life.
Yeah.
And to have the good bits in my life now, I have to cut that out.
Mm-hmm. So, what are you thinking is con number one?
So, one that I thought of, and I've definitely remembered it. I'm not looking at any kind of notes that we've made. But the first one which came to me is definitely being part of the booze banter.
The banter.
Being part of the excitement of going out drinking.
Yeah.
Because...
oh, it's there.
It's there. It's a real thing.
It is.
When that sun comes out and it's Friday at work and everyone's like, whoa, we're going to finish soon, going for a beer after work. I'm missing out on that.
Yeah, it's in like your WhatsApp group. Like for free, I went out with the girls last night and they were all like, oh, four spicy margs in, and I've had the espresso martini, and I've had a wine, and I'd usually be like rosé's out, like 100%. And
how exciting is that feeling?
Like me throwing in there, like, oh yeah, I've just had my first alcohol-free wine of the night. Woo! I am on fire. It doesn't work, does it?
No.
It's not the same.
And I think you're flogging a dead horse trying to make that as exciting.
Yeah.
I think you just have to accept that you're not going to have that. Now, albeit that it is a facade, I get it. You have one or two and then it just goes downhill. It's not it's the first drink. It's the giving in to the temptation of drinking. It's exciting and it goes. I'm not denying that, but it's real.
Yeah.
It's a moment in time that fills you with pure excitement and you are just like buzzing, and it's not something you get much from other things like as intense. That level of like anticipation and excitement and pure just like sharing that connectivity with your friends and as much as I accept and I'm fine with not having it because I know what I get from it.
Yeah.
it's still there, and it still does feel like a bit of a loss.
Yeah.
And a bit of FOMO.
Definitely.
And it's definitely a con.
Yeah.
Of not drinking.
Yeah.
It's real. Let's
Yeah.
not pretend, guys. Let's not get sober and then all of a sudden go and drinking shit.
Yeah. Yeah. So true.
Like, let's not pretend it's all shit,
Yeah.
because it's not.
Yeah.
And there's some very exciting, very
energy
filled
excitement,
yeah,
dopamine.
Yeah.
Things.
And you know, I've had to cut that out, and I sometimes miss it.
Yeah.
And I sometimes you know, feel like the boy in the corner watching everybody have fun. But it's only brief.
Yeah.
It's only brief.
Yeah. And I think there are like tools, aren't there, that can help. So like even for me, like, you know, having an alcohol-free cocktail actually just helps me a little bit with that mentality of like being involved. Like, yes, it's alcohol-free, but there's just something nice about having a drink that looks like a drink that helps me get over that mindset sometimes and that FOMO of missing out on it. I definitely can't join in on the WhatsApp bants, but I can have a drink that looks and feels nice in that moment for me.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, and guess what? You have the drink, you realise you can still chat to people.
Yeah.
You know when it's time to go, and you're driving home, and personally, I feel good every time.
Exactly.
So it's not all lose.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that bit,
100%.
that initial
It's
bit
hard.
of looking forward to it is
con.
something I miss, and it's a con. Okay, so that's my first one. What about you?
My first one would be the self-consciousness bit of it, or like, so I do suffer with body dysmorphia. Probably it's getting a lot better, but I do suffer with that. And so like example number one, prime last night for me. So I had a vision of what my outfit was going to be, put that outfit on, didn't look right, didn't fit, and I had a full-on meltdown. Like, I was like, feel fat and everything, got no clothes, like, what am I going to do? And I proper span.
I know,
and
I had to hide the potatoes.
Yeah. And normally in that circumstance, literally, I was like throwing more stuff, throwing shoes out the wardrobe, like it was chaos. My office room was a mess. Anyway, normally in that situation, I probably would have ended up wearing my first outfit, because I would have gone, fuck it, I'm going to have a glass of wine and it'll be fine. And I can't do that. So my self-consciousness is at such a peak when that type of scenario is going on, and I haven't got anything to mask it.
Or soothe. You've got
to soothe
to soothe yourself.
Exactly.
Instead, you've actually got to cur and then find a way to feel okay with it.
Yeah.
Rather than cur and then drink something that makes you think you don't.
Yeah, exactly. So that for me is quite a biggie, because I get really in my own head for that. So I guess for me it's you've got to, like you say, you've got to soothe yourself, and you've got to be like, no, come on, like, let's find something else. And I did, and I found a nice outfit, and I was happy with it in the end.
Yeah.
But I was very like irate at that point. So even so I'd got ready, and ended up getting ready in a rush. I was late. I didn't end up picking the girls up because I was that late. Like, it was a bad spiral that I went in. And then on the way to the bar, like, I was really like, oh god, I just want a drink. Like, I really like struggled. But then I got there and I breathed, and I got a porn star martini, alcohol free, which was delightful. It's the first porn star martini I've ever had, which was really nice. And I settled, and I was like, no, I'm fine, I'm okay. But that I do struggle with that still, and that's because I do have body dysmorphia, and I do struggle with my self appearance anyway. But I think that for me is a con, because you are aware of everything, and you've got to deal with that all the time.
Yeah. And you look fire to me.
Thank you.
So I do have another con, and it's sort of what I was going on about before with the FOMO, and I sort of mentioned it, but I feel like I've not yet found a way to get the level of intense excitement yet from other things in life. Like, don't get me wrong, I get joy and satisfaction and peace and um, um, accomplishment and stuff from other things that I wouldn't have been able to do if I was rough. But I'm yet to sort of, I'm still trying to assimilate.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to get my head around not having that like that intense level of excitement about things like going out and
Yeah.
and you know, basically what we were talking about before.
Yeah, that like real dopamine rush
Yeah,
that comes
just
from that.
yeah, because you know, whether it's synthetic and not real or whatever, it feels real when you're having it. And I've got memories of, you know, having that sort of level of excitement just about myself as well. Do you know
Yeah.
that just sort of that level of confidence and that level of, or you might call it stupidity. But
I wonder if that'll come because we've got quite a few like I describe them as exciting things coming up.
yeah,
And I wonder if you'll start to if those things will trigger because we've got quite we'll talk more about them in the future, but there's quite a few big new things, and I wonder if they're gonna pique your excitement levels. I'm
no,
curious.
but what I'm saying is those things I'm definitely like excited about those, like, and they're like accomplishments and yeah, I get excited about that. But I'm just I'm talking. I suppose I'm talking about
Yeah.
socially going out and being really excited and just like more confident and all the things that, you know, I have to work on now.
Yeah.
Basically like what you were saying in a way, really, about your self-image, and how you feel about that.
Yeah.
Mine maybe is like, you know, the sort of level of excitement and joy I get from social settings and stuff like that. You know, I don't get that anymore.
Yeah.
You see, I get it in maybe like a lower level.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's probably a con in a way, because, you know, it's it's nice to feel those feelings. But again, if you ask me to swap what I've
Yeah.
got now,
Yeah.
the answer is no. I've really come to terms with the fact that that is something I have had to sacrifice, and learn to live without.
Yeah.
And I really do feel like it's not something I would trade.
Yeah.
So it's just I mean, I had to think about a con. That was it.
Yeah, nice.
So that's
Yeah,
a couple of
I
cons.
think it is definitely a fair one.
But let's not
feeling.
get bogged down with the cons.
I've got one more though.
Oh, have you?
Yes.
Well, go on then.
Just one little more. I think one thing that is sometimes difficult to get your head around. It kind of goes off what you're saying as well. That social is like that. Your social battery,
Yeah.
like, is lower.
Yeah. Yeah.
You are not able to sustain the time period.
And you don't want to.
Yeah.
Either.
And again, I'll just use last night as an example. Like, met up at like 6:30, let's say, a little bit late because I was late. And I left at, I think it was about 9:30. So I did like 3 hours, and it was nice. And I had some good conversations, really enjoyed myself. And then the night was starting to just turn a little bit more. So people just getting a bit more drunk, and I was like, I'm done now. Like, that's enough. And, you know, I knew that they were going to carry on and go out and have, you know, carry on the night and stuff and probably had another 3 hours in them. But I definitely knew I didn't have that. And I think can be a con because you kind of, again, it goes back to that FOMO, doesn't it? Like, can be a con because you're like, oh, I'm not going to get to that point where
I'm missing out on
yeah,
that. I'm missing out on that aspect of the night.
Yeah, but then what am I missing out on? Because that's where things start to get foggy. And at that point, 3 hours in, I would have been.
Well, you're missing the
very
wackiness,
drunk.
aren't you? You're missing what you're missing out on is that side of yourself that used to be the one that would, you know, be carefree, and it's quite a a relieving feeling to be carefree.
Yeah.
But the problem is when you're carefree, you don't care.
Yeah.
And you do things that
You might
wouldn't
regret and you wouldn't normally do.
do.
Yeah.
So it's got everything's got about it. Everything's got an up and a down and a give and a take and a reaction and a reaction sort of thing. But you can't lie and say as a human you always ponder is the grass greener. And it is tough. You do feel like you're missing out. And just to add to that, for me, when I go out, what happens is right at the beginning of the night when everyone's just having the first drinks and no one's really drunk.
Yeah.
I always feel like I'm really part of the conversation. I feel really zoned in. Everyone's talking to each other. I'm having good conversations. Fast forward a couple of hours, everyone's doing a bit of drunk talk now.
Yeah.
A couple of people are repeating themselves. A couple of people are huddled in their own conversations. You know, and then I start to feel like I'm just like I just feel a bit of an outsider. Then I feel like I'm not really contributing anymore. Not because of what they're doing, because I don't feel
able to do that.
Yeah. I don't feel like I'm contributing the same anymore.
Yeah.
Like I'm not on that level now. They're moving to a level that I'm not at now.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes me then realise like, I've not got the energy for this now. I'm starting to feel like a bit socially awkward.
Yeah.
And then that's when I decided to leave, which is fine. I made the decision.
I think that's the point.
I made the decision to stop drinking. It's not up to everyone else to like slow down just so I can feel different. You know what I mean?
Exactly. But I think that's the point, isn't it? From a social battery perspective, like you now know when your social battery is at its lowest.
Yeah.
And feel free to step away at that point. Don't force yourself into staying longer because you're not going to enjoy it. Like, and I knew like just last night I was so happy when I left and I had a really good time, really good conversations, and I was ready to go home. And I think it's a con because you're missing that opportunity, but actually as well it's quite a nice feeling of being like, no, I'm good, I can leave and I'm happy.
Excellent.
So that's the cons. I'm done now with my cons.
Yeah.
Should we talk about the juicy good stuff?
The pros.
Oh yeah.
Try waffle.
Time.
You straight in there.
Straight in there.
Time.
Oh, so much of it. And I think this was one that everyone says, but until you actually go through this process, you do not understand how much time you actually have available to you.
Yeah.
And it just opens up so much opportunity.
Yeah, and you feel like you can do more with the time.
Yeah.
For me personally, when I used to be hungover, or like I used to get to the point where I was like mega rough, like coming down, feeling like I wanted to absolutely not exist.
Yeah.
So I definitely did not see the benefit of the time I had. Like I used to waste so much time feeling bad or being asleep.
Yeah.
Or just
eating rubbish food.
Just not wanting to be outside in the daylight.
Yeah,
like
just
a
that feeling
vampire.
of like literally I don't want to see any sunlight.
Yeah.
I don't want to look anyone in the eye for at least 24 hours.
Yeah.
Because they may know what I did.
Yeah. They know something.
They know. But like just a really like easy example is I think today, in fact we've had a bank holiday weekend which has felt like a really good chunk of time off. But like today,
it's never enough though, is it?
But today we got up, we went for a walk, we went to do a bit of shopping, we came home, we had breakfast, we've had a nap, we had an hour and a half nap. Yeah, we've got up, we've planned a podcast. I've been for a 7K run. We're making a roast as we're doing this podcast.
We've had an argument.
We've had about 4. And it's what? 7:30?
Wow.
Yeah, it's 7:30. But that is so much in a day when normally when you're hungover, I wouldn't have even moved out of bed until 2:00.
True.
And by 2:00 we've had our nap.
Absolutely true.
And it's just, and obviously that's a really simple day and a simple example, but you can do so much in a day.
Yeah.
When you've got that time, and like it just opens so many possibilities. Like we've launched a podcast. We would never have done that.
Well, yeah, we definitely wouldn't have done this podcast if we were still drinking.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? I don't think we would have done a podcast because where's the time coming from? We're just in bed.
No, you're more focused on just obviously with the weekend, weren't we?
Yeah.
You know, we wouldn't have been doing a podcast.
No.
But no, I completely agree. I think obviously no hangovers. I mean, this goes into the time anyway, but
Yeah.
just not having to deal with the hangovers.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I used to be able to drink and do whatever, and I wouldn't really suffer. I would be like,
No, yeah, true.
I could get up and
true.
go to work, and
Yeah.
I'd manage it. I don't know how, but I just felt like I could manage it.
Well, you could. You just was able to bounce back, weren't you, when we were younger?
But like the hangovers just used to kill me off now.
Yeah,
like,
2 days, 3 days.
Absolutely horrible, and I don't have to go. I don't have to deal with them anymore, and that leads me to another pro. Really,
Can I just say, sorry, it's just made me think of something. Sorry, do you mind? Just on that point.
absolutely, you go ahead.
Sorry, because I had a dream, didn't I, the other night? And I basically had this really bad dream where it was like a dream within a dream, which are never fun. But basically, the dream was that I'd been out and I'd got really, really drunk to the point where I woke up in the dream. This is why it was weird. So I woke up in the dream and I could smell sick, like a really strong smell of sick. I had all sick in my hair. And my head was just pounding, and I woke up in the dream and I was like, oh my god, what have I done? Like, I've ruined our lives. Like, we can't do dry waffle anymore. Like, Rob's gonna, what have I done? Like, proper horrible.
I'd have had to sit here and do like a sorry, Betty won't be joining us anymore.
Yeah, she's giving in.
She's giving in, and she can no longer represent the dry waffle family.
But I'm not joking, it was horrible. And then the fact that I'd woke up from that dream to that dream, it's like something out of Inception, but I swear this is right. And then because that was sort of traumatic, that part of the dream, I like got myself out and woke up, and I was horrified. And that put me off. I think that's put me off not drinking for another year anyway. It was awful.
They are horrible, those dreams. They like where you think you've been drinking but then you
that
still be
feeling,
so relieved.
I had that. Honestly, the smell of sick in my hair, I can still like almost smell it now. Like, it was that strong in the dream, and that feeling of that hangover and just that anxiety, and it was awful.
Yeah, you're so relieved when you wake up, aren't you, from something like that?
Oh my god, yeah. And I'm having them dreams a lot at the minute. They're really getting.
I think in life though, it's important to remember, like jokes aside, if you do ever have a slip up or anything, you've actually got to be quite forgiving to yourself.
To yourself, yeah, because it's a journey.
It is a journey.
It's a journey.
And I've gone back to drinking and then stopped again, and then gone back to it so many times. And
so be kind to yourself in that sense. Cause
even if you're dreaming.
Yeah. It's okay, Bethany.
No, but I just think it's important to obviously say that, because I just said I'd kick you off the podcast if you.
You would.
So I just thought I had to clear up my stance on that. I do think it's not good to drink if you don't want to, but it's definitely part of a lot of people's journey, and you have to be kind to yourself. If
it's an addictive substance at the end of the day.
It is,
and it's hard to stop.
And I said this: I think I'd really struggle if you weren't doing it as well.
Yeah,
and I definitely think we're lucky in the sense that we're doing this together.
Yeah.
We get that little bit of extra strength and support
from each other. Definitely.
Even if the world around us is boozing away, we get to sort of look to each other for that support. So I think it's I think we're both very lucky.
Extremely.
So please don't ever drink.
No.
So
sorry, I cut you off then, didn't you? Because you were about to lead on to another pro.
You did. And another pro for me, have I said about getting the mornings?
No.
So, getting my mornings. I used to be scared of the morning sun.
Like a vampire.
And now I run to the morning sun.
You do. What time are you up on Saturday?
4:30.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, but that was because I had to get that. I wouldn't usually get up at that time.
Yeah, but
I tell you what, it still feels good. You get up. I was out. I got to the lakes, and I decided to take myself for a walk. It was still like 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. The sun was coming through the trees. I was walking through this forest, and I was just thinking, my God, I feel good.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm a boring. Do you want another nap?
It's after. I'm hungry. I'm tired. No, I'm having a great time. You're right.
So you get the mornings. I used to curtain twitch and hide from the sun. Now I thrive in the sun.
Beautiful.
Oh, yes. Get that in you.
We were talking about this today. Where we were saying we obviously don't have children. Obviously, it's not obvious. We could have children. We're able to do that.
As you can tell by looking at us, neither of us are pregnant.
No, we're not. Yeah, we don't have children. We don't currently have children.
Right, what are you trying to say? Is this you?
No, but I was saying, like, having your mornings and that time spent with children, I imagine, is very special for people that maybe were getting drunk and then struggling in the mornings and not embracing that quality time.
Well, yeah, let's put it this way. I definitely would not have been. I definitely wouldn't have been capable of doing parental duties.
Yeah.
With the way I used to feel.
Yeah.
And the way I drank and like stayed out and stayed up and laid in bed all day. Like I just would not have been mentally strong enough. So I imagine anyone that was doing that same thing I was doing.
Yeah.
And was a parent, that must be hard.
Really hard.
Stressful.
Yeah.
And I imagine if you stop the way I feel now, the time and energy I have in the morning now, I think if I was having to look after children, I would be in a much, much, much better position to do that and actually, enjoy it. If that's possible, I don't know. I'm not a parent. It sounds bloody stressful.
Yeah. Shout out to all the parents.
Yeah.
We
we're not jealous.
It's impressive. It's impressive what you do.
But yeah, shout to the parents. Keep doing the amazing job.
are
The children are
incredible.
the future.
I believe children are a future.
But
Teach
not
them
for
well.
us.
Teach them well. Don't teach them to drink.
So do you want kids?
That's another episode.
See, that'd be a worry for me if I was to have kids. Like, just knowing what the world's like and like, I suppose.
You know what my friend literally said last night? She was like, once you have a child, the world is not good enough. Like the world, and I've had a couple of people said that to me, say, like, you just suddenly realise how terrifying the world is and that it's not good enough.
You don't want them to do all the daft stuff that you've done, do you? You wouldn't want them to.
It's more the other people, not you.
Well, yeah,
But true.
Yeah, obviously, especially with like young like old knife crime and young people and
Just the world.
just the
It's
world.
scary, isn't it?
Yeah, but you still, like, for me, like, I just couldn't, like, I could not be bothered with a child bringing home the drama and stupidity that I used to bring home to my.
You know what? Actually, the same because my
Like-
mum and dad struggled.
But yeah, anyway, let's not.
We digress.
Let's
Pros.
not get onto that. That wasn't in the bloody show notes, was it? So
Back to pros.
back to pros. Health.
Oh my days. You know what? It's not just like, obviously at the minute I'm training to do my 10K, which I'm super buzzing
You do
about.
very well.
And doing well, and there's the obvious health benefits. But I think for me it's the things that I don't even realise what I'm fixing in my body right now, or what I'm actually doing for my body in 10 years' time, not just now. Like, the damage that was being done is massive, and like, I just imagine that my body's just thanking me every day for just not putting that inside me, and I really hope that my body supports that as I age and continue to age.
Yeah, well, I mean, I feel like you're looking so much like healthier.
Thank
Like but you are, aren't you?
I think we both are.
Yeah, and
You're smashing it as well at the minute.
I feel like I'm looking a lot healthier. I've also started eating a lot better as well as the booze. But yeah, I mean, you take that out of your life, like, you're bound to start you're bound to start doing your body some favors.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way that my body is not benefiting from not
Yeah.
putting it through the absolute trauma of my weekend fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, no, there's just
Consistently as
no
well.
way on
Yeah.
earth that I'm not benefiting on some level.
Yeah. And
And
I
I,
just
and I
think
feel it.
I think it's like one of the things that we just really, you just kind of accepting. Obviously, yes, you're doing things better, but actually, like, your body's got to be thanking you for what you're doing.
Mm.
And I think that's just such a pro. And then the energy that comes with it, and then, the ability to be able to move your body better and
Yeah.
get up and get out, even if it's a walk. Again, you're not stuck in bed in a hangover, so you're moving.
Absolutely. I completely agree.
Good.
I think that's a
Thriving.
really good point that you've just made.
Thank you so much.
I thought that was on my side of the board.
Nope,
but-
it was mine.
I
Can you
think
tell we prepared for this one?
I think as well because we are not drinking. I feel like our relationship is much better. I mean, we didn't have a. We
Maybe
don't.
not
We
today.
don't. Yeah, we don't have or never have had really a bad relationship. I feel
No.
like in general we have smashed it. We don't. We. I feel like we've learned from our mistakes in the past, and we've always from the get go been very quick to make sure that we don't let arguments get out of control.
Yeah.
We always like to discuss things. We're very quick to accept if we've done something wrong and
Yeah.
say sorry, and
Yeah.
and that's been a conscious effort.
Yeah.
So I know that we've done that, but I think I do feel like it's just brought an extra level to our relationship by not drinking. Just in terms of things like if we say we're going to do something, like say we plan to do something, there's no, oh, can we cancel? I don't feel like it
Yeah.
today. I don't. We managed to find that bit of energy to do things, even if we're feeling rough about it. Because I struggle with making plans and then having the energy when it comes round to doing it anyway.
Yeah.
I feel like that's part of maybe my ADHD.
Yeah.
Like some days you'll catch me and I'll just so regret making a plan because I
Yeah.
feel like I can't do it. I feel like it's such an overwhelming task to get ready and then go out and be sociable. But do you know what? I've got it in my locker to do it now.
Yeah, you do.
Whereas when I used to drink, it was just like, nah.
Yeah,
You're pairing that natural thing that I've got anyway on top of being rough and no sleep and feeling like absolute death.
Yeah.
Like it was never going to happen. And I used to cancel plans a lot. And I think that's been an issue for me in past relationships. That would be something that's probably been
same. Definitely.
a real kind of negative for my partner would be how unreliable I was with plans and how I'd just be a bit of a letdown really.
Yeah, we do. We show up for each other, don't we?
Yeah.
And we have like proper quality time together.
Yeah.
And we, like you say, like with that, I think we just communicate. I've never been in a relationship where I communicate this much, the good and the bad.
It's absolutely tiring sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're just like, I don't want to communicate. I just want to throw a potato at your head.
But we do. And I think, we challenge ourselves in our relationship by doing like this dry waffle. Like essentially we're trying to like build something together, and that's hard in itself.
Yes.
Like, but like as well as that, we're also, managing the day-to-day of our relationship in normal day-to-day life as well. And I don't think we'd be able to do all the things we're doing if we were drinking. There's just no way.
No. Like throughout my life, there are a few things that I've felt consistently, and one of them is unfulfilled. One of them is another one would be sort of regretful, always beating myself up, always blaming
like
why I'm not judging myself for my lack of sort of effort that I'm putting in, because I'm saying, it's because you're drinking that you're not doing this, it's because you're drinking that you've not done that. Whereas now I'm fully responsible. I don't have to look back now and go, that's the reason you didn't do
Yeah.
that. Do you know what? I could turn around and say to myself, I actually did my best based
Yeah.
on how I felt.
Yeah.
Not there wasn't something holding me back. I don't feel like there's something holding me back now that I'm punishing on myself. So do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
there?
yeah. That was like one of my pros, weren't of understanding what you're really capable of.
Yeah.
Like I think that links really well to that one because you actually there's nowhere you're hiding again. Like
Yeah.
you're not hiding you can't hide anywhere. So all you've got is the time that you've got, the energy that you've got, your brain that you've got,
Yeah.
the person or people that you've got, and you're actually able to just really understand like what you can do in your life and who you are, and
you feel like you're putting your sort of best into something when
Yeah.
you do it, rather than like even if you do it and you feel like maybe you didn't do as well as you thought or whatever, you can happily sit there and say, I still put my best into
Yeah.
it and I feel like I did, rather than I wish I'd have not got.
yeah.
I wish I'd have not gone out.
If I wouldn't have gone out, then maybe I would have done that better.
Yeah, and going out sounds, people are like, oh, you can still go out and do stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think we mean just like the way we used to drink,
Yeah.
and the way we used to feel after drink.
Yeah,
like,
and
so-
now understanding when that's removed,
yeah,
what you can do and what you're capable of.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
And that's in our relationship, isn't it? And in our general day to day as well.
Yeah,
And it's good.
it's good. So all in all, couple of cons to not drinking. We're gonna have to wrap it up because this is about to end on here.
Okay.
And I
Well,
think we've done a good few cons.
Yeah.
We've done a good few pros.
Many pro.
All in all, it's a very positive thing that we're not drinking, isn't
And
it?
we do love each other
And
dearly.
we do love each other daily.
If you've enjoyed this episode, please do give us a follow. And we're also on TikTok and Instagram if you want to come along there for the ride as well.
Yep. Episode 9, nearly episode 10.
Yeah, that's next one.
There. Okay then.
Have a great week, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Try Waffle.